everyone, today I am talking about goat feed. Now if you ever hear me say grain in any of my videos, I am talking about a 16% protein goat feed. And the only goats that need the 16% protein goat feed are your milkers and growing kids. So we keep all of our feed stored in this old freezer that doesn't work anymore because it keeps the mice out. And the goat feed that we buy is pellets, and it is from our local grain co-op. I went to them and told them exactly what I wanted in terms of selenium and copper and everything, and asked them to make that for me because they're using local grains and they can make it a lot less expensive than what we would have to pay for it at a regular farm store if we were buying retail. So I know most people are buying retail, and if you're buying retail, then two of the really good products that I like and what we used to use before we had the local feed mills start to make it for us is Purina goat feed, which is very specifically just Purina goat feed. They have a bunch of other stuff that's got fancy names like show feed and stuff like that. I don't like those because most of their other feeds have half as much copper in them, and copper is really important for goats for many reasons. I have so much educational information available on that. I'm not going to get into it here. I really like to make sure that the goats are getting enough copper both in their mineral, which I have other videos about, and also in their goat feed. And other than Purina goat feed, the other one is the Do More sweet goat feed. I hate the name of that feed, but of course they didn't ask me what they should name it. But it's what most people would call textured goat feed because you can see whole grains in it, and it's really not any sweeter than the other one. If you look at the ingredient list, both their pelleted feed and their so-called sweet feed have molasses very high at the top of the list. Now, the reason I prefer what they call their sweet feed, and this is Do More, the Tractor Supply brand, the reason I like their sweet feed is because it has almost twice as much copper as the pelleted feed. And if you don't have those in your area, Kalmbach also has some feeds that are good. I've gotten excited about them. If you want something organic, Kalmbach is the only thing I have found that's available nationally that has enough copper and selenium in it. And again, you need to look at the individual feed tags because not every one of their goat feeds has that much. And what am I saying is that much? I want to see at least 30 ppm copper, if not 35, 40 is great. And that would be for the minimum. I hate it when I see a label that's like 20 ppm minimum copper, 80 ppm max. Like, that is ridiculous. That's a four-fold difference between the min and the max. So how on earth are you supposed to make any intelligent decisions about your goats in terms of like, are they getting enough copper or aren't they getting enough copper when they've given you such a huge window there? So be sure that you look at both the min and the max, and you really want them to fall in that 30 to 40 ppm area. And for selenium, we like to see about 0.5 ppm. Now, if you've seen my mineral videos, you're like, oh, but in your minerals you want like 1700, 2000 ppm copper and 50 ppm selenium. And that's because they eat so much less of those minerals. They're only gonna eat like half an ounce of those minerals in a day, whereas with the goat feed, they need to consume 1 pound of the goat feed for every 3 pounds of milk they produce. So that's why the levels of the minerals in the goat feed is gonna be lower than what you're looking for in your loose minerals, which you also still need to have available because that's gonna help the goats compensate for what they're having in the pasture that's low in copper and selenium and also zinc. Hope this has been helpful. Bye for now.